Hedera Hbar, so we have a recent exclusive interview with Leemon Baird, and he talks about this very important factor that is going to be building trust between the people and also with Hedera's technology. Now we're also going to be having a look at two other interviews that we have from Hbar Bull in relation to karate combat and with QuickPic, how they both use Hedera's technology. We're going to be taking a look at both the price action of Hbar coin and saucerswap or source today. All I ask from you are two things, which is to smash that like button and to subscribe to the channel as well. So this is the recent interview that has been conducted with AJ and also Leemon Baird. So we see over here that it says the governing council is the secret source of Hedera because it builds trust. So what does Leemon Baird mean by that? Well, it means that with all of the members in the global governing council, all of those institutions have actively said yes, they're going to be using Hedera's technology, and with that they're utilizing that technology and they're finding these sort of benefits. So that is what gives the reputation and credibility to Hedera's technology, to show that it does actually work and that how it is going to be building trust. You don't just have to take Hedera's word for it, because of course there could be bias, but what these members are saying and how it can benefit them in terms of their business is how it's going to build trust with people and with businesses and institutions. Now let's take a look at what Leemon has said.
And so the governing council is critical. I think over time, it's going to become the most important factor of why people trust Hedera. Not that you trust any one of the council members. I would never trust any one person anywhere. But because you know who they are, and they're keeping tabs on each other, and they have this reputation to protect, and all the meetings they have, the minutes are published to the world. This is what builds trust. Is that not to trust any single person, but you trust them to be keeping tabs on each other. And this is the secret sauce of Hedera, even more than Hashgraph. It's this.
For sure. The word trust is synonymous with Hedera, the trust layer of the internet. And the more you learn about Hedera, the more you realize, how powerful that one sentence really is,
Again, it is about that reputation that they have with the technology. So we have over here an interview with Hbar Bull and also with the co-founder of Karate Combat, and basically he questions him in relation to the no contest and how there was no karate token being distributed because there was no winner. And so he asked the co-founder for the potential solution going on forward for these no contests.
So there was some controversy around the bouts that resulted in no contests with no winner.
Sure.
Yeah, so with no winner in those fights, karate token wasn't distributed, and we can understand kind of the frustration of people that put a fair amount of karate on those fighters. What do you think the resolution for this will be going forward?
It's a good question. I think it'll be down to the token holders. We'll have to put it to a vote. There was a lot of discussion in the governance forum this weekend about it. Most of us were traveling back to town like yesterday, traveling back home. So I would expect, to put this to a governance vote later this week. Personally, I understand the frustration. I mean, one of the most common things that people complain about in sports is the judging or the referees or whatever, right? And so that's really, I think, what people are complaining at. They're like, my guy was going to win and he didn't. And so that's understandable and expected and is never going to go away. From an up-only gaming perspective, I'm not sure I quite see the logic of distributing the tokens in a no contest, because it literally means the fight didn't happen. But if that's what the token holders want, that's what the token holders want. So we'll have to see. We'll have to put it to a vote. I don't feel super strongly about it, so I'm not going to oppose it. I think it'd be really weird, unusual, and unlikely that we go back and try and fix, quote unquote, the last event, just because we have so much stuff going on.
I mean, it is a pretty big and difficult question because, of course, with the no contest, there were no winners. And so why would those tokens be distributed? But it is something that they're going to have to look into, because we will be seeing no contest in the future. And so it's something that's not avoidable. And he did say over here that there could potentially be a vote in terms of the community, but he does also express his opinion that it really doesn't make sense to distribute those tokens. And so I do wonder what the solution will be when it comes to that. Before we have a look at the price action for both Hbar and Sourcecoin today, I just want to show you this partner that we have, which is QuickPic. So QuickPic are actually utilizing the Hedera technology, and basically what the business does, when drivers will be taking parcels and then delivering it to people, they use a Hedera technology in order to provide that verification that the delivery was done. But I have actually picked out some clips that I think are important for you to know.
First, we are able to use Hedera to track and hash packages in transit. from the request delivery point, from the point when a customer or a business make a delivery request on our platform. From that moment, the transaction is hashed on chain. And what that means is that it's impossible for us to say, hey, you didn't place any delivery on our platform, because there's going to be a proof from the beginning that you actually did on the blockchain. But if indeed you did not, there's also going to be a proof that you did not, because that package obviously would not display that it's on the blockchain. Then beyond just package placement or package request placement, we also make sure that payment itself is also done on the blockchain. So for payment, what that means is, as a user, when you pay for a particular package delivery, we hold it in trust, because it's an escrow system. It's a peer-to-peer solution actually. So the platform holds that payment in trust, waiting for the rider to make that delivery. So the moment the user makes payment for that package is also indicated on the blockchain through our stable asset called KPL, which is used to track that particular payment. And then when the rider fulfills the delivery and the user confirms that they have received the package that they have requested for, the funds is then released and transferred to that rider. And then, yeah, that's another way we're leveraging Hedera, because we use the Hedera token solution to create the KPL token.
So we have the delivery routes being tracked on the technology, and also the funds don't get released until the receiver has said yes, that they have actually got the delivery. And so it is a good source of verification, which I pretty much like this business model.
To order for groceries, and also order for food, and of course delivery of anything. Then in addition to that, we are also planning on expanding into African countries. We've just recently touched ground in Ghana. As a matter of fact, things are picking up slowly for the Ghana market. So we plan to go into other African countries, at least before the end of Q2. We want to be in at least 5 African countries. And being in 5 African countries means more customers for us, more money in terms of revenue, which also increases the on-chain transaction for Hedera in general. Then one last thing that I would like to talk about is to further solidify the proof of the carbon emissions that we are generating as a company. So that's another aspect I forgot to talk about. So we're actually leveraging Hedera to display the amount of carbons that we are emitting every time a dispatch request is completed. Now, we are doing this because over time we want to be able to prove to the impact funds or the impact guys, who like the UN and the people who are involved with trying to make our environment cleaner, that logistics indeed, especially for Africa, needs clean vehicles, because the carbons we're emitting is enormous. So with clean vehicles, we're able to reduce carbon emission and make the environment clean for everyone.
So not only are they using the verification part for the technology with Hedera, but also with the carbon emissions as well. I mean, there has been a lot of hype when it comes to this in Africa in terms of the deliveries, and you've heard it from the founder himself that they will be going into those other 5 countries. So price action at saucerswap today, we're going to take a look. It's currently at 0.08346. We are down by 0.27% on the 1-day chart. For the 24-hour volume, we're down by 10.62%, and we're trading at 314k. So on the 7-day chart, we are down by 6.65%. We've taken a massive drop, but from that 9-cent level on the 30th of January. Do remember though that we are still pretty high. On the 1-month chart, we are up by 8.14%, and back here in January, we were at 0.06674. So we are still up by nearly 2 cents. And Source's price has been really good, even when the market has been down in terms of the volume and other coins as well. So it has outperformed quite well. I mean, let's see if Source is able to still remain within this 8-cent level. But even if it breaks below that, we are still very much higher compared to where we were before in early January. Now let's take a look at the price action of Hbar coin today. We are trading at 0.0687, so we are below that 7 cents. On the 1 day, we are up by 0.4%. On the 1 week, we have taken a bit of a hit. We are down by 7%. Unfortunately, we were not able to hold below that mid-range of the 7 cents at 0.0742. And you'll see over here that we've come down now, but again, on the 1-month chart, we've taken that massive hit at 18.9%. Where do I want to see Hbar coin go? Well, I want to see it get back up to the mid-range of 7 cents. I mean, we were doing pretty well, you know, on the 15th of January, all of the way to the 21st in being able to have that support. However, we took that dip. So let's see if we can get back up to the mid-range of 7 cents first before we can then head off to 8 cents. Guys, if you want daily Hedera Hbar coin news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.